Hey guys, welcome. I just wanted to jump in here and do another quick video. We've talked a lot about communication in language and the different types of language. I wanted to talk today about receptive language. We've done a lot with labeling, where you're narrating and you're modeling, but I wanted to talk today specifically about receptive language, what it is that your child is understanding. So I just want to make sure you can hear me okay. Hopefully you can hear me. But what your child is understanding, and how do you know that your child understands what you're saying to them or what you're showing them? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. I've got some things here, some toys, and some familiar objects that are around the house, and that's pretty much what we're going to start with. We always want to start with what we believe your child is familiar with and what they know. So, for example, very common object, shoes, right? All kids know their shoes. They go get their shoes. They put on their shoes. So the idea of really demonstrating that they understand, the way you can do this is it might take you and another person, but ideally the other person is going to sit behind your child. Okay, so where as I'm seated, the child would be in front. And then you would be on the other side showing them maybe a shoe and maybe their favorite stuffed animal. So I'm going to kind of do a demonstration here. So I've got the favorite stuffed animal. We're going to call this Uni because that's what you labeled it at home, whatever you call the favorite animal, and then the familiar object, which would be the shoe. So you're going to hold your two objects out, and the person behind your child is not going to speak. They're not going to say a word if you have a second person there to support you. When you present the two objects, you're going to say, touch, shoe. That's one way you can do it. And then the person behind your child might have to get that arm and extend it because maybe your child doesn't know touch, okay? Another way you can do it is give me. Right? So you would place the two items in front of your child on the floor and you would say, give me. Once you say give me, you put your hand out so that your child understands that you mean give me. You could even point to your hand and say, give me shoe. And you might go right directly in front of the shoe so they know that you want this item to be placed in your hand. Okay? So this item's right on the floor and it needs to be placed in your hand. You may have to do some hand over hand assistance if you don't have a second person, where you take your child's hand, help them pick up the shoe, place it in your hand, and then you say, good job, you gave me shoe. Good job, you gave me shoe. Then you put the shoe back down. Maybe you switch order. You put the shoe on the other side and you've got Uni on this side. And then you ask the same question again. And you'll say, give me shoe. You'll take your hand, you'll put it out, you'll kind of point to your hand and say, give me shoe. And maybe, again, they need a little assistance, so you're going to take their hand, pick up that item, put it in your hand, and then reward them or praise them, give them tickles, and tell them, good job, you gave me shoe. You can do this with anything around the house that they are familiar with. It could be a shoe, it could be their little unicorn or their favorite little dolly or maybe bear or stuffed animal. But be sure to use the label that you label it with, okay? You could do the same thing with baby and ball. These are familiar objects potentially. You could say, give me ball. Got to be careful though, because when you have toys that they like to play with, what's going to happen? They might start playing with them, right? So you have to be a little patient with that and be just thinking about the types of things that you want to start off with when they're identifying. So generally, we're using items, again, that they're familiar with. So here I've got a book and I've got bubbles. Okay? Give me bubbles. Give me book. That would be your language. You put your hand out again and they give it to you. It's great to do this within an activity. So them demonstrating that they understand their receptive language skills, that can be done during the activity. So let's say you put a couple of items out and you say, give me book. Once they give you the book, you say, great, you gave me book. And then maybe you're going to go ahead and just read the book, right? And then maybe a little later, it's time to go, and you might say, shoes, get shoes. Maybe they'll go over and get their shoes. Or you can make it a fun game and you can hide different items in places and you can say, where's Bear? Where's Uni? And they'll go run and find Uni and bring it back to you. So there are different ways that your child can demonstrate understanding and that their receptive language skills are intact. That's how they can show you that, okay? They don't have to say anything, but they are showing you that they understand by bringing you back the correct item, by touching the correct item, or giving you the correct item. I really like give me because you're teaching them the skill of giving something to another person. So if you say, go give this to grandma, and you hand it to them, they understand what that means. It means to walk over to grandma and place it in grandma's hand, okay? So that's it for today. I wanted to just give you a little background information on receptive language. You're going to be working on that more and more as the weeks come, and I just thought it'd be a great time to introduce it and do a home program on that. So, of course, if you have any questions, you can reach me via email or text, and I appreciate you guys watching. Take care for now. Bye-bye.